Hi guys, you're welcome back to the concluding part of the Recyclerview Snap. In the previous tutorial, we've talked about the rest, whereby we mentioned the layout files. Let's quickly look at that. The activity main, the adapter, the pager, the snap vertical, and the vertical adapter. We actually explained in details on how to go about this, and as well we included the dependencies, whereby we talked about the card view, the recycler view, and also the gravity snap helper from the Ruben Salsa. So from here we'll be moving to the logic of this particular application, which is the Java classes, and we're going to be creating some classes inclusively with the main activity, where we're going to have the adapter, because in any recycler view you must have an adapter, and we're going to have a customized adapter which is called the snap adapter, and I'm going to actually explain how to go about this. So that's what we'll be doing from this particular moment right there in the main activity. The main activity extends compact activity, so I will implore you to follow along. It implements the toolbar on menu item click listener. You have it this way. It actually implements this. So we're going to continue with this structure of this particular class. We're going to have a public static final string, and the orientation will be equals to the string of orientation close it out. We're going to have another field called the private recycler view. We give it an object of M recycler view. I'll close that. We're going to have a private boolean we give it M horizontal. That's for the horizontal and vertical, because we're going to have different dimension, horizontal and vertical. Now we have our onCreate method, which call on the super onCreate and set the content view to the activity main. That's cool. We're going to actually add more to this. We call on the M recycler view, and we're going to assign the recycler view, and we'll find the view by ID. Which is actually going to call the ID recycler view. Just this way. We'll have to close that. We're going to call on the toolbar from the widget version 4. Create an object from this toolbar, which is going to actually equals to the parent class toolbar. So we're going to cast it on and get the view as well. Find view by ID, and we're going to call our ID the toolbar, just this way. Now the object created, we're going to call the inflate menu, which is actually for the menu main. Inflate menu. We're going to pass in the menu XML, which is called main XML. Main XML. We have that set. We're going to assign on menu item listener set, so that it's going to be clickable to this particular class, and during that process we call the recycler view We're going to set the layout manager and instantiate the layout manager, new keyword, linear layout manager. Pass this class as a parameter. Stick all on the recycler view. Now we set as fixed size to true. That's cool. Now we're going to have an if statement to test the saved instance state. We call on the saved instance state. If it's equals to null, you're going to actually make the M horizontal be true. That is going to assign true to it. Else, that's if it's false, the M horizontal, which is a boolean, will pass in the saved instance state and get the state, which is the boolean, and pass in the orientation. That's fine. Now we're going to pass in a method right inside the onCreate method. We're going to pass in a method to run after all this might have been set successfully, which is going to be set up adapter. I've actually not created this particular method, but we'll get to talk about this, so don't worry about that for now. Now we're going to actually have our unsafe instance state, so we need to call on the annotation override, and we have a protected void, which is not returning a value on save. We call it save instance state. Pass in the bundle and create an object called outState. That's cool. Now we're going to call the super class of unsaved instance state, and we're going to pass the object, which is outState, right inside this. Now outState, we're going to call the put boolean, and that is actually going to depict the orientation to M horizontal. That's fine. That's okay. So actually need a space right there. Let me just bring it up. So we're going to have the setup adapter method. It's a private method that can only be called by this class. Void set up adapter method. It's actually going to be empty for now because we need to create the apps, and also we need to create the snap adapter because we're actually going to be using the snap adapter and the app class. So we're actually going to leave that for now, and I will be moving to the get apps method. Let's create the get apps. We still get back to the setup adapter, which we'll be doing, but let's create private. This is a list, which has a generic of app. That's a class, so we get to create that class definitely after this, and we call get apps. method. That's okay. We get to create this particular class. Afterwards, we'll also need the onMenuItemClick method. Let's have the boolean override rather annotation, and this time is going to be a public boolean onMenuItemClick. That's based on the menu that we created, so we need to actually inflate this. We're going to pass in the menu item, which is for the Android view, and create an object called item. Right in this, we have to test for the particular ID being passed based on the item. We use the if statement to get the item ID, which is right there, and this, if it's equals to the layout type, it's actually what we're going to do. We're actually going to make the M horizontal, not, understand this, not M horizontal. Close that right there. We still need to pass the set up adapter method. No. Set up adapter. Keep on pressing something different over there. Afterwards, we'll call on the item and set the title. So it's actually going to change the title. That's what that depicts. Once it's horizontal or it's vertical. So it's actually going to, we use a ternary. So to change to vertical or horizontal. That's fine. Now we actually still need to return something. Yet, but it's a boolean that must return the value. We return false. So from here, let's quickly create something. We'll be creating the app class, and as well, we're going to be passing some values into the list private method, which is the get apps, and we'll be creating the Snap adapter. So let us first of all create the apps so that we get to actually pass in some values into the get apps method. So right here we're going to be creating a class called app. Click OK. We'll be declaring some fields there. First is a private integer called mdrawable. The next, private string. This is actually going to be mname, which is for the name. Another one is a float, which is for the rating scale. Rating. We're going to have a constructor for this class called public app with 3 parameters, which is also for the string, name, integer drawable, and float rating. That's it. Now we're going to pass the values from this parameter to the fields created. The first is mname. No, not that. I don't need this. I need mname, which will equals to the name parameter. Second is mdrawable, which will be equals to the drawable. While the third is the float, the m rating, which will be equals to the rating. That's fine. After this, we're going to be having our get. You know, if you're familiar with the encapsulation, the set and get, this time is the get. We need to get the values. Float, get rating. And we're going to return. Let's return m rating. After you might have set that appropriately. That's cool. Second one, public integer get drawable. This time we're going to return mdrawable. Last but not the least, public string get name. This time we're going to return the name. That's fine. We have it set right there. So we'll move back to our main activity to now set up the lists of the get apps. So let's try to set that up, and right there in the setup adapter we need to instantiate it as well. Let's first of all instantiate the list, which we're going to pass in the app class as the generic. Create an object called apps, which will be equals to the get apps method. That's fine. So we'll move back to the get apps. Now this is a private field, so we need to do something quickly here. First of all, we pass in the list, call on the class app. Same thing goes with the objects. This time with the new array list. So now we're going to add some stuff to the apps. Add. First of all, we instantiate the new app. That's the class we created. That's the app class. Now we're going to pass in some values. The first is Google Plus. That's a string. The drawable file, which we'll be calling drawable. What was it calling? To be calling IC Google over here, and we'll assign the float, which is the rating, 4.6 F. Hope you're following. Hope you're really following with this structure. So instead of us just repeating the typing, we need to copy this out, because we actually need to add up to 6, 7, 8 items. The next one will be Gmail instead of Google, and it's actually going to call Gmail. And this 4.8 rating. The next one is going to be inbox, not Gmail this time. That's for the mail inbox. It's actually going to call the inbox drawable. I think I've told you about the drawable files we got, and this time will be 4.5. Go to add another one, which is actually Google Keep. Call it Google Keep. It's actually calling the IC Keep, and this time it's 4.2, the rating. The next one is going to be Google Drive. Calling Drive, the drawable. And they maintain this way, no problem, it's okay. The next one is going to be the Google Hangouts, or we'll just give it Hangouts. These are all Google products anyway, just trying to mimic the Google Play structure. Hangouts 3.9 float. The next one is going to be Google Photos. So we're going to have drawable IC Photos. What about the float? It's going to be 4.6. That's fine. The next one is going to be the Google Messenger. I have to just call this Messenger. Call the Messenger. And it's maintaining 4.2. Rating scale. We have another one called Sheets. We really have a lot of products out there. We have another, we're going to call the Sheets, which is actually 4.2. It's fine. We have another one which is Slides, which we'll be calling the Slides, and maintain 4.2 rating. The last but not the least is Google Docs, documents. We have Docs. Which should be 4.2. That's fine. Now we need to return the apps. We have to return apps to close out. That's cool. We have it set right, so we still need to pass the adapter, which takes us down to the Snap adapter. But before we do the Snap adapter, we need to actually create an adapter that will handle the recycler view. So we have to create an adapter class which will handle the recycler view. After that, we create the snap followed by the snap adapter. Let's quickly create the adapter class. Call that adapter to handle the recycler view. And here we go. The adapter, I have to actually do a copy of the snippet so that it's going to be faster. So this extends the recycler view adapter, and we have the list, which is the maps, and the boolean for the horizontal and for the pager. We have a constructor for this adapter, whereby we pass in the horizontal, the pager, and the apps, and we instantiate with the values of the fields created. We have onCreateView order, which has the parent, view group, and the view type. Whereby we test for an if statement if the mPager is going to actually return the view order and is going to inflate the layout adapter pager. So else is going to call on the adapter vertical. Now we have the onBindView order that calls on the order and its position, whereby we create an object from the app class and we set the image view to the order, we set the text view and also the written text view. We have a static class called viewOrder that extends Recyclerview viewOrder, where we have three fields: the image view, the name text view, and the written text view. And we have a constructor for this that actually gets the view by ID of the image view, the text view, and the written text view, and it passes them into the fields created, which are these. So that's cool. From here, we're going to be creating a snap class, which I'll be creating that, and I will be copying in the snap adapter. Let's quickly create the snap class. We have a snap class. So we're going to create some fields here: private, integer, mgraffiti. We also have another private string, mtext. We have a private list, app, mapps, that's what we'll call that. We're going to import this right inside there, which is the utility list. Apps, this should be a capital A, the camel casing. Now we're going to have a constructor, private, the public, this time, snap, which we take on these parameters: integer for gravity, string for text, list for the app class, but we have apps. That's cool. So we're going to pass in the values for gravity, which equals to gravity, mtext, which is going to equals text, apps, which is going to equals apps. That's fine. We're going to set this is going to be lowercasing. Cool with that. So now we're going to have a get method to get those values. The first is for public string, get text, that's the name for that. We have to return mtext. The second is an integer, get gravity. which we're going to return some value, return M gravity. The third one is the public list as a generic passing app, which is going to be get apps. And we're going to return the M apps. So that's that for the Snap. And M apps, let's close that out. So we have that set for the snaps. Afterwards, we're going to look at the Snap adapter. So I'll actually be copying a snippet into the Snap adapter and I'll explain it. It's kind of lengthy, so I won't actually go through that all through. We call it a Snap adapter. So we're going to create this, and I'm actually going to pause now. And so before we continue, I'll be copying the SnapHelper directly into the project. So we're actually going to copy a library, manually into the project, because there are some methods that are not actually picked from the dependencies. So I'll actually show you on how to integrate a library manually into your source file. So I have the Graffiti SnapHelper folder, which contains the source, and some classes. So we actually need some methods in it. So I'll either copy this, and I move to the project structure of my application, which is the Recyclerview Snap. Right inside this structure, I'm going to paste the Gravity SnapHelper. So you have it this way. It's included right inside your project. So I'm going to move to the settings gradle, where I'm going to actually include the Gravity helper. So we have to synchronize after doing this. So I'm going to include it this way, called Gravity SnapHelper. So afterwards, I'm going to sync gradle. I'm going to actually wait for that to get set. So you're actually going to incorporate the Gravity SnapHelper with the project structure, so the app can actually use some of the methods in this particular library. So actually exercise little patience for that to build up quickly. After that, we need to include the compile in the Gradle script. Right there in the module app session, we need to add this line, which is compile project we call the Gravity SnapHelper. So we have it this way, and we synchronize gradle. So this is actually going to combine the dependencies down to the library. So any methods called from the library will be usable. So I've actually taken off the dependencies, which is actually pointing to the live or to the online version. So we may not actually need that. That's okay. Let me sync again. Still have it set. So from here now, we're going to go straight down to the Snap adapter. So I'm actually going to copy it in the snippet, and I'll be explaining how the snippet flows. Right there, it's a Snap adapter. It extends the Recyclerview adapter whereby it implements the gravity snap helper and calling on the snap listener. So that's just how it flows. Now we created some fields. First is the vertical, and we have for the horizontal this way, which we initialize to 0 and 1. We have the array list of the snap class, which I've created earlier. Let me quickly show you this. So we pass that in as a sort of generic, and we created an object for it. It's called snaps. So that's actually so we are going to actually disable the touch detection for parent Recyclerview, and so we're going to use the nested Recyclerviews. So we have on touch listener, where we create the touch listener, we instantiate with the new on touch listener, and on touch is going to call the parent, whereby it's going to request the disallow intercept touch event, which is passed through and it returns false. This is the snap adapter constructor, where we instantiate with the new array list. We have add snap, whereby we add the MS snaps. We created the MS snaps earlier from the array list, if you can notice. And let me continue. Now we have the get item view type, whereby we get the position, we get the gravity as the switch statement. So the first case is if the gravity is center vertical, it's going to return vertical. If it's center horizontal, it returns horizontal. If it starts, it returns horizontal. If it stop, it returns vertical. If it's end, it returns horizontal. If it's bottom, it returns vertical. If it's not getting the gravity, it's going to return the horizontal. That's what that depicts. And we have the onCreate view order from the view order class, whereby we pass the parent group and the integer view type. This actually is going to call on the layout adapter snap vertical. If not, it's going to call on the adapter snap. That if it's not vertical, it's actually going to call on adapter snap vertical if it is vertical. If it's not, it's called on the adapter snap. So if the view type is vertical, we get the view by ID, which is the Recyclerview, and set the touch listener to this, whereby it's going to return the view order passing the view as parameter. Let's get to look at the view, the unbind view order, where we call on the view order, we create the object called order and the position. Now we instantiate the snap, we create an object from a snap, we call the order to snap the text view and set the text based on the value gotten from the snap object. Now it's going to get the gravity if it's equal to start, which we've actually specified what should show. That's horizontal, or if the snap gravity is equals to end, the Recyclerview is going to set the layout manager, instantiate with the layout manager, and call the order, whereby it's going to get the context to the Recyclerview and pass horizontal. The same thing goes for if the gravity is equals to center horizontal, it's going to pass vertical. If it's center, it's going to pass horizontal, just a tweak on how it displays. Else, if the top and bottom is not specified, it's going to set the layout manager, get the context, and set on fling listener. That's a fling gesture, that's like a flip, whereby it is instantiated the gravity snap helper and attached to the Recyclerview order. So that's actually going to undo the flings. And we have the class view order that extends the Recyclerview, where we created two fields, the snap text view and the Recyclerview, whereby we have the view order, and now we set the text view, we call the idle snap text, and we call the Recyclerview right there. So we actually need to instantiate this class, which is the snap adapter, right inside the main activity rather, whereby we're going to pass this into the setup adapter, because this setup adapter is very important. We actually passed it when we call the onCreate method. We should notice over here, and also we passed it when we are trying to also call on the on menu item click for the kind of orientation, if it's horizontal or vertical. Now let's really instantiate the snap adapter over here. Call on the snap adapter, create an object called snap adapter, which will be equals to new snap adapter. Now we're going to test for the horizontal. If it's M horizontal, we're going to call the snap adapter now, and we're going to add the snap, instantiate the class snap, pass the gravity, and call center horizontal, comma, what's the name it should bear, which is a string. It's going to be snap center, and we pass the apps, which is the list array created over there. That's fine. We're going to actually repeat this step, so we need to just copy this out, paste it right there, and now we need to change the gravity here to start. It's going to be snap start instead of sender. Same thing applies to the apps. We're going to actually change the third one, which is end. And it's going to be snap end. The fourth one will be for the center, which we can just do this way, sender. So it's going to be called page snap. For the app. So we have the else statement to complement the if. So if it's not horizontal, definitely it will be vertical. And what we're going to pass, we paste it right there too. Now it's going to be center vertical. Vertical. Oh. Vertical. So we're going to call it a snap center for the second. If it's top, go to call it snap top, and the third, if it's bottom, call it snap bottom. That's cool. We all set it appropriately. Now we need to call the Recyclerview to show this. So we call the Recyclerview. We set adapter to the snap adapter object. It's fine. We have it set, cool, and ready. Let's take a recap. A recap of this. Our main activity, we have the onCreate that called the send content view, the activity main, whereby we created some fields. The first is the orientation. The second is the Recyclerview from the Recyclerview class, and we have the boolean M horizontal. Is either going to be true or false. Now we get the view by ID based it for the M Recyclerview, and we also did the same for the toolbar. What about we inflate the menu? Well, we have the main XML as the menu. We set on menu item click listener, either horizontal or vertical. So right there in this recycler view, we set the layout manager, we set the size. We have the unsaved instance state, which is actually horizontal, and we call the setup adapter. Well, we have the lists, a generic of the app class where we created an object from it, and we also call the get apps method, which is right there, that actually where we added the resources, we added the string, and also we added the float, based on the parameters from the app class, the list. We have a menu click of the menu. Once you click the menu, it's going to trigger the setup adapter, and the setup adapter actually tests if the view is horizontal. It calls the center horizontal. It's set the appropriate text and also set the appropriate view. The same thing goes for the start, the end, and the center. So if it's not horizontal, definitely it's going to be vertical, because its text it depicts what the graffiti will also look like. So from there, we actually created the adapter class to handle the recycler view, and we also create the app, which has the strings, the name, the float, the rating, and the drawable. And we have the snap adapter that actually did the magic, actually called from the graffiti snap helper, where that you extend the recycler view. And we have an animation that I really want you to look at, which is the set on fling listener. We actually pass that to the recycler view. When you fling it, like when you scroll through, that's what that actually does. So you have that set right, and we also have its view order that extends the recycler view, and we initialize those fields based on the ID from the XML. Now this is a bumper package, and I also explain how to import a library, as a standalone into your project, how to set it right in the settings, Gradle, how to include this, and even you have to include that in the global Gradle to actually compile the project, which is the Gravity Snap Helper. Without this, your project, that's your classes, won't be able to use the methods right inside this library. So that's the essence of the compile project. And we have the application set and ready for testing. Let's get to look at the manifest. Our manifest is right intact. It's called the main activity, which is the launcher, which is the main essence of this application. So that's satisfiable with the launcher, and we have the theme called the app theme, whereby it's going to show. I don't want you to use the no action bar, please. Use the app theme so that you're actually going to see the bars. You're actually going to see the toolbar. You're actually going to see the title of your application. From here, I'll be showing this a kind of example. I'll be showing this in the emulator, and we'll also upload the source file of this particular application to my GitHub account. So stay tuned. I'll be actually showing how this looks in an emulator. Here we go with the application, the Recyclerview Snap. Can you see it? You have the snap sender, the snap start, the snap end. Let's scroll up. You can see the page is snap. So you can as well swipe. Can you see that? To review different items, you can as well swipe to the right again to go back. So you scroll down. You can as well swipe the snap center. You can as well swipe the snap start as well. So that's it. You have the snap center, you have the snap start, and you have the snap end. So that's fine. We have the application set and ready. So I'll be uploading the source file to my GitHub account. You can pick it right from there, and I will allow you to use it in the course of your application. And from here, I'll be saying thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this tutorial. It's quite lengthy. I really appreciate you for standing by, for listening, and for also watching my videos. Thank you guys. God bless you. And I'll be saying bye bye for now. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye. Thank you guys.